Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Let's get to the news. This past Sunday was a tough pill to swallow for Browns fans. If you were watching the game, you saw a performance that left many of us scratching our heads and wondering what went wrong. The Cleveland Browns, normally known for their resilience and grit, got absolutely hammered by the Chicago Bears with a final score of 31-3. It was a game that exposed some glaring issues, especially on the offensive side, and highlighted just how much work the team still needs to do to compete at the highest level. One of the biggest talking points coming out of this game was the rough day for our young quarterback, Shedeur Sanders. Now, Shedeur had been impressive in his previous 3 starts, showing flashes of potential that got fans excited about the future. But Sunday was a different story. It was, without a doubt, the worst game of his NFL career so far. He completed just 18 of his 35 passes, throwing for only 177 yards, with no touchdowns and 3 interceptions. That's not what Browns fans want to see from their quarterback, especially not in a game where the offense struggled to get anything going at all. Shedeur was under pressure all day, getting sacked 5 times, which is a clear sign that the offensive line couldn't hold up against Chicago's pass rush. And you could tell that the pressure was affecting his decision-making. His 3 interceptions were all bad throws, poor reads, hurried decisions, and plays that we've seen him avoid in his previous games. It's tough, because the Browns' defense kept us in the game, but our offense just couldn't capitalize, leaving us with a disappointing and demoralizing loss. The game itself was a clear reflection of the team's inconsistency. Cleveland's offense, which had shown some promise earlier in the season, just couldn't find rhythm. The Bears' defense was relentless, and Shedeur's struggles only made it worse. The Browns did get into the red zone in the final minute, trying to make some kind of comeback, but they came up empty. That's frustrating, especially when you think about how close they were to putting some points on the board and showing some fight. Instead, it was a game to forget. Let's break down those interceptions a bit more, because they really tell the story of the day. The first one came midway through the 3rd quarter when the Browns were trailing 14-3. Cleveland took over on their own 17 after a punt from Chicago. Shedeur drops back on first end and tries to connect with Harold Fannin Jr. over the middle. But DeMarco Jackson made a great play, tipping the ball up and then intercepting it. It was a bad decision from Shedeur, trying to force a pass that wasn't there, but Jackson made a heads-up play. That turnover gave Chicago a chance to extend their lead, and they didn't waste it. A few possessions later, Shedeur was trying to push the ball downfield again. On 3rd and 9 from Chicago's 24, he threw a deep pass on the right sideline to Jerry Jeudy. The throw was decent, but Jaylon Johnson made a fantastic play, reading the route perfectly and snatching the ball out of Jeudy's hands. That interception was another blow, and it further dampened the Browns' chances of mounting a comeback. The 3rd pick, which came later in the game, was another costly mistake. On 2nd and 3 from Cleveland's 33, Shedeur attempted a deep shot to Harold Fannin, but C.J. Gardner-Johnson read it well, jumping the route and making an impressive interception. It was another sign of how the game was slipping away from Cleveland, and how Shedeur's decision-making needs to improve if he wants to be the franchise quarterback we all hope he can be. Now, it's important to put this all in perspective. Shedeur Sanders is still a rookie, and every young quarterback has to go through these tough games to learn and grow. His previous game, Week 14 against the Titans, was a bright spot, where he threw for 364 yards, 3 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. He showed real promise then, and Browns fans can look at that game as proof of his potential. But consistency is key, and Sunday's performance was a stark reminder that Shedeur still has a long way to go. Right now, his season stats don't exactly jump off the page. He's completed 72 out of 138 passes this season, which is just over 52%. He's thrown for 946 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. His passer rating sits at a low 68. And his QBR is even worse, just 19.9. These numbers show that while there's potential, there's also a lot of room for improvement. Browns fans know that patience is vital, especially with a young quarterback, but it's also frustrating to see the consistency issues in a team that's fighting for a playoff spot. The defense, on the other hand, has been a bright spot overall. Players like C.J. Gardner-Johnson have been making plays all season long. Gardner-Johnson's interception on Sunday marked his 30th takeaway of the season, which is impressive and shows how much of a difference-maker he is on that side of the ball. He's been a leader in turnovers, and his ability to read plays and jump routes often gives Cleveland a chance to stay competitive. But even the best defenses can't do everything when the offense is sputtering and turning the ball over so carelessly. Looking ahead, the Browns will need to regroup fast. Next week's game against the Bills is going to be a big test. Buffalo has a tough defense and a potent offense, so Cleveland's young quarterback will need to bounce back and show that he can handle the pressure. The coaching staff will have to do a lot of soul-searching as well, tweaking game plans and helping Shedeur regain his confidence. This season has been a roller coaster for Browns fans. There have been moments of brilliance like Shedeur's Week 14 performance and moments of frustration like what we saw this past Sunday. But one thing is clear, the team still has a lot of talent, and with some adjustments they can turn things around. The division is competitive and every game counts in the playoff chase. The AFC North is as tough as ever, with Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh all vying for supremacy. But the Browns still have a shot if they can find consistency and improve their decision-making on offense. What's encouraging is that despite the setback, the team's defense remains a strength, and the coaching staff is experienced enough to make the necessary adjustments. Shedeur Sanders, while facing a tough patch, has shown flashes of what he can become. If he can learn from games like Sunday and keep pushing forward, Browns fans can remain optimistic about his future. Remember, every great quarterback in NFL history had rough patches early in their careers. It's part of the journey. In terms of season outlook, Cleveland has already exceeded some expectations, but fans want more. We all want to see the team make a deep playoff run, and that means cleaning up mistakes, especially turnovers, and improving offensive consistency. The talent is there, players like Harold Fannin Jr. Jerry Jeudy and others are capable of making big plays. The key is for Shedeur to trust his weapons, make smarter decisions, and keep his composure under pressure. And let's not forget the importance of special teams and the running game, which can often be overlooked but are crucial in close games. The Browns need to balance their attack and ensure they don't rely too heavily on the passing game, especially when it's not clicking. Running the ball effectively can help take some pressure off Shedeur and give the offense a more balanced approach. Overall, this game was a wake-up call, but it's also a reminder that the Browns are still in the thick of it. They have the talent, the coaching, and the motivation to bounce back stronger. The season isn't over yet, and every setback is an opportunity to learn and grow. Browns fans are resilient, and we know how quickly things can turn around in the NFL. The key now is to stay supportive, stay patient, and trust that the team will come back hungrier than ever. As we look ahead to the next game, it's clear that Shedeur Sanders and the entire team will need to bring their best. The competition is fierce, but if Cleveland can tighten up on offense, protect the football, and get back to playing Browns football, tough, disciplined, and relentless, they can certainly make some noise. The journey to the playoffs is far from over, and with a little bit of luck and a lot of hard work, this team can still reach the postseason and maybe even surprise some doubters. So, Browns fans, stay fired up. Keep cheering, keep believing, and let's hope that next week we see a totally different team on the field. One that fights tooth and nail for every yard and plays with the grit and passion that makes us proud to wear the orange and brown. The season isn't defined by one game, but by how we respond to setbacks. And I know this team has what it takes to bounce back. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. Do you think Shedeur will bounce back next week? Are you worried about the offense, or do you believe the team can turn things around? Whatever you're thinking, let us know. We're all in this together, and your voice is part of the Browns family. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. Keep the faith, and let's keep pushing forward because the best is yet to come for this team.